They're dragged off to column. Maybe buried, I don't know. I don't know what they did. There's no record of it. But here's what I heard this from down there. When they hit that downbeat, it bow. Come up again, keep dancing. The reason why they bow is because they were in chains. They couldn't do nothing. They couldn't hug their loved one. They couldn't smudge them. They couldn't do nothing for them. They're dead. Life is finished. That's the only thing they could do as they marched past the fallen. Doesn't matter what, it was another tribe, somebody you weren't familiar with, but one of your own being there. That's the only way to pay tribute. Bow as you go by. Each one go by. Bow. That's the trail of tears. Now we'll go to another one, another reference. Chief Joseph, Nez Perce. They try to make them additional as Wyoming, Colorado, southern Montana, Washington State, Idaho, that area. Nez Perce lived there, Indians. And all that time there's Indian wars going on. The Sioux was fighting there, standing up to these people coming west, the cavalry. They wanted this Indians where they lived. They wanted to live there. But there's people here. Or there's something living here. They're not people. It's savages, godless heathens. They have no Bible. Eradicate, get rid of them. Send out the cavalry. Sit down. That's where forked tongue came from. This government would come out, army, sit down, governor, whoever, sign treaty, negotiate, smoke sacred pipe, bind that treaty, words. Okay, well, all right. There's so many treaties across the states with, there's dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens. So the Indians would try to obey, try to accommodate. Kevin Costner dances with wolves. He tried to portray what we went through. A lot of people can understand that, but there's deeper. It goes deeper than that. Why? Because here's an occupying force coming. We're going to run you off. The ones coming, we're going to live here. What you go through doesn't matter. You're not human, you know. You're godless heathens. Let them see. Clear them out. So Chief Joseph took his people and he made a break for it. They chased them all over the mountainous regions. Pacific Northwest, Montana, Idaho, Wyoming. Finally, it was Canadian border, just outside of Havre, Montana. It's at the Canadian border. It was 1 day's ride. They stopped. These people rest, tired. 1,500 miles we've been dodging the army. We've been dodging, getting away from this soldiers, the army that's coming. They're going to hurt us. They're going to harm us. We know this. It's proven. How are they going to treat us any different? To them, we're nothing. So Chief Joseph took pity on his people. So okay, we will rest. Tomorrow we'll ride into Canada. He rested. Next morning, bugles attacked, captured. They quoted him as saying, "I will fight no more forever." That's stateside. Here in Canada, after the Indian War, some of the Indians came this way. Stonies, we call them. Sioux, Assiniboine. Some of the other tribes, they came this way. Figured they could live away from Mississippi. The fur trade and the Jesuit priests were already here. So what England did, Queen Victoria sent an emissary. Go to those Indians. Go to those savages. Sign a paper. So they started way east, Treaty 1, Treaty 2. All the treaties, I think there's 12 treaties. This is Treaty 6. So when he got to Alexander Morris was his name, he got here, Terms and Conditions, Treaty 6. The first people were the Crees. Chief Big Bear was one, Chief Poundmaker. They signed treaty on the eastern Alberta, Saskatchewan up there. Into Saskatchewan, into Manitoba, little piece. Signed treaty with these Crees. Then over here, these other Crees, the Stonies that were here, were adhesions to the treaty at Fort Edmonton. So they came here and they signed a treaty. Promised us all this. Okay. Word for word. Things will always as they have been. Never happened. No sooner than we agreed to terms and conditions, because the Treaty 6, as a settler and an Indian like this shaking hands, share the land. Live peacefully together. Cohabitate this earth together. You do your Indian things. Live your way of life. We'll live it with ours. Sir John A. Macdonald created the Indian Act right after the signing of the treaty. 6, 7, and 8. The reserves were internment camps. Weren't allowed to leave. Given rations. All this we had to endure. There's stories of Fort Calgary. Outside the fort, the Indians forced to stay there. There was one of the Indian agents went back. I've seen a report. I can't recall it. What I do remember is the wording. He said, people in charge of the forts, they give us rations under treaty. He said, we'll give you this much food. You don't have to hunt. We'll teach you to farm. Teach you to raise animals. We'll give you a school. We'll give you a medicine chest. We'll teach you our language through written. You don't need to. You don't need your language. You can't write it down. Okay. forced. Now there was the Indians camped outside a fort. Indian agent made a report back to Ottawa. Indians were starving. Can't go hunt. They get imprisoned. Kids haul off already residential schools. They were eating grass. Nothing to eat. So, and the redcoats, the military, they're the military, at a fort. The Indian agents, government people, look down on us. We're heathens. We're not people. We're not even animals. The animals have dignity. The animals have worth. Us, we have no worth. They kill buffalo by the millions. Buffalo hide, worth money. The bones, worth money. The meat, worth money. Everything the buffalo had a value. Us has no value. How are you going to make money on a human body? They knew we were a human body, but we weren't humans. Up until the early 50s, we were subjects. We were wards of the government. We couldn't vote, couldn't own a business, couldn't consult legal advice, couldn't see a lawyer, couldn't do any challenges in court, couldn't do nothing.